In the wide, open desert, two Arabian oryx stand facing one another, their white coats striking against the muted sands. For a moment, the landscape seems to hold its breath. The oryx lift their heads, ears forward, posture rigid. Their long, slender horns, dark, sharp, and perfectly symmetrical, mark them not only as icons of the Arabian wilderness, but as rivals in a timeless contest of dominance. The tension grows in the space between them. Each oryx lowers its head slightly, gauging the other's resolve. They circle, hooves crunching softly on the gravel, drawing wide arcs as they test angles and distance. Their movements are careful but charged, like coiled springs preparing to release. Although these confrontations rarely end in serious injury, each is a vital negotiation, a moment where strength, confidence, and stamina will shape the future of a herd. Without warning, the first clash comes. The two males surge forward, horns locking with a cleaving snap. The sound echoes across the ground, their powerful necks strain, muscles tightening as each pushes against the other in a contest of leverage and balance. Sand shifts beneath their hooves, sprayed outward as the struggle intensifies. Dust rises around their legs, forming a faint cloud that traces the pattern of their battle. The oryx break apart for a heartbeat, reassessing, then collide again. This time the impact is stronger, more decisive. Their horns scrape, twist, and slide as they attempt to unbalance one another. Each male aims to force the other's head sideways, to disrupt footing, to claim the advantage. Their bodies lean heavily into the struggle, shoulders braced, tails flicking in agitation. Despite the intensity, their movements remain controlled, a testament to an ancient behavioral code evolved to avoid fatal blows. The desert around them remains quiet, as if observing the ritual. Small shrubs tremble in the faint breeze. Distant dunes form sweeping, silent backdrops. The oryx, however, are fully absorbed in their moment. They break apart once more, breathing hard, chests rising and falling with exertion. One shakes his head in irritation, sending dust scattering from his horns. The other maintains an unbroken stare, refusing to yield. The final charge comes with unmistakable determination. They rush forward, horns locking with a deep, resonant impact. For long seconds, neither gives ground. Muscles ripple beneath their pale coats, legs digging into the earth for traction. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, one male begins to lose balance. His stance widens, hooves sliding. The opposing oryx pushes harder, twisting sideways with a decisive motion. The weaker male stumbles, steps back, then retreats several paces. The dominant oryx stands tall, head raised high, horns pointing skyward in silent victory. He does not pursue. There is no need. The message has been delivered, the hierarchy reaffirmed. The defeated male turns away, proud but accepting, maintaining dignity, even as he yields. As calm settles across the desert, the victorious oryx surveys his surroundings. His herd, watching from a distance in quiet anticipation, begins to move again, guided by the assurance of a leader proven through ritual, strength, and endurance. In this vast and ancient landscape, the Arabian oryx continues a cycle older than any human memory. The struggle for dominance, the preservation of order, and the unbroken rhythm of life in the desert. Across the open desert, a pair of Arabian oryx stands facing one another, their white coats gleaming against the vast pale landscape. Their long, narrow horns curve back like polished blades, catching the dry wind as they shift their weight. For most of the herd, life here follows a quiet rhythm, grazing, resting, moving in loose groups across gravel plains and sparse shrubs. But when rivalry stirs, the calm dissolves, replaced by an ancient tension that has defined the species for thousands of years. The two males hold their distance at first, each standing perfectly still, assessing the other. Their bodies are motionless except for the subtle rise and fall of breath, yet an entire conversation takes place between them. Posture, stance, angle of the neck, the slow lowering of a horned head. These gestures are instinctive signals, warnings coded into their behavior long before any individual fight begins. One male takes a step forward. Sand shifts beneath his hooves. The other responds immediately, mirroring the movement. Their chests expand, their muscles tighten, and the invisible boundary between watching and confronting disappears. A sudden lunge breaks the stillness. Their horns collide with a sharp, ringing crack that echoes across the flat terrain. The force of the impact sends small sprays of dust outward as the males lock together, horn against horn, each trying to push the other off balance. Their hooves dig into the ground, carving narrow furrows as they strain for leverage. In the intensity of the moment, each oryx displays the power and precision that allow this species to survive one of the harshest environments on Earth. Their long legs shift rapidly, adjusting stance, weight, and angle. Their hindquarters tense like coiled springs, driving their bodies forward in short, explosive bursts. The pale fur along their necks bristles, and the dark markings that frame their faces appear sharper, more defined under the pressure of the confrontation. The clash breaks, then locks again. Each male steps sideways, trying to twist the other's head. Their horns scrape along each other's edges, producing dry, rasping sounds that blend with their heavy breaths. Sand clouds rise around them with every movement. Neither animal gives ground willingly. The herd watches from a distance. Females and younger males stand in a loose semicircle, their heads raised, ears flicking with interest. Although fights are not constant, they shape the structure of Oryx society, deciding dominance, breeding opportunities, and access to resources. The gathered animals observe in complete silence, their attention fixed on the two battling figures. As the fight intensifies, the males shift tactics. One lowers his head farther, attempting to slide his horn beneath the others and lift upward. The maneuver is subtle but dangerous. A poorly timed move could expose the throat or flank. The opponent reacts instantly, jerking backward, then lunging again. Their horns meet with another jarring impact, and for a moment their bodies lock in a rigid push, two white silhouettes fused in raw determination. Their breaths become harsh and audible, but the fight continues. After several minutes, the fight becomes a test of endurance rather than sheer force. Both males now move more cautiously, lowering their heads only when an opening appears. They feint, pivot, and charge in smaller bursts. Their coats, normally pristine, pick up streaks of sand along their shoulders and legs. Instead, he circles, widening the gap between them. His chest rises and falls rapidly, but his gaze remains fixed. The larger male advances with long, deliberate steps, confident but cautious. Every fight carries risk. A horn strike delivered at the wrong moment can cause serious injury. For this reason, Arabian Oryx fights, though fierce, are often controlled, a contest of dominance more than a fight to harm. They close the gap again. The next clash is shorter, less violent, but decisive. The larger male hooks his horn just beneath the others, driving forward with a sudden, forceful thrust. The smaller male try,